Let's get the prediction started for WrestleMania, man. Once again, shout out to Dallas Cash of the Humble Roses podcast, also frequently shown on Marks and Mikes with JT.
Nah, they don't understand, man. They put me in a wrist lock. I flipped forward, I tipped up, and I got back in control. All right.
Oh my God. Let's get to WrestleMania predictions, beginning with WrestleMania Saturday. We're about to start the WrestleMania predictions. Guys who are in the chat, please put the likes up. We're on live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube and on X. Please like, retweet, share. Tell your friends we're live. We're talking WrestleMania. We're talking graphs today.
Put up the cards, though, the night 1 and night 2, so we know what's going where. Because I feel like I'm upset with night 2. Is it just me?
You know, I'm happy you said that, Matt, because the first match we're going to talk about is for night 1. For night 1, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. That match is on. That match is going to be on for WrestleMania. So who do you guys got winning this match?
I don't know who, but they definitely were like 11 when SVR 11 came out. They got to be the youngest writer in that room because this is Toto Americano versus Rey Mysterio all over again. And I can't stand it. Nah.
I mean, the current insider did say the fact that a lot of those young writers are pretty much younger than him. So, I mean, that would definitely be true.
No, I'm playing, but honestly, seeing a potential, seeing this Grande Americano is crazy.
Are we really doing this?
Hey, man, can Chad win? I just saying, can Chad win? After losing to so many luchadors, can he beat the greatest of all time at WrestleMania? This very much gives me a Cody Rhodes versus Ray type of feel, or a CM Punk versus Ray type of feel. So I'm going to go with Chad. I'm going to hope that they give Chad the victory because it's not like Ray necessarily needs it. And honestly, Ray's one of those people that benefits whether he wins or, well, I'm not going to say benefits all the time, but he could take a loss and it doesn't hurt him in the slightest. So
I'm going to be like Grizz real quick and say Ray wins from losing. So I got Grande Americano winning.
This man is in the Hall of Fame. Ray has given us bonus years at this point. He don't have to do this. So God bless Ray.
At this point, it's just what cartoon characters he going to wear this year.
If he don't get sued. Matt, who you got winning?
Nacho Libre.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nacho Libre is crazy. So all right, man. So since we first match of the WrestleMania Saturday pay-per-view, you got
I gotta turn on my masked brethren. I gotta be a Rudo for this one. I'm sorry, Ray. One mask to another. I can't do this. I have to do this to you.
Got to respect the mask, man. Got to respect the mask. Next match on the docket is the WWE Tag Team Title match between the Royal Raiders and the New Day. Who do you have winning this match?
Oh boy. Well, I want the War Raiders to win. I want the War Raiders to win. I don't remember if New Day has ever won the tag titles at WrestleMania, so that is something that they would like to probably put on their resume. Be like, that's
they
have
never won the tag titles on WrestleMania. They haven't.
So, like, I could see them easily giving New Day this, especially with the momentum they've had as heels. But the War Raiders, I feel like it would be premature unless this goes into the summer, this program. Because a lot of people forget that WrestleMania isn't always the end of a story. Sometimes it's the beginning of one. Like, I always bring up Triple H and Batista, how they started their first. It wasn't the beginning of their story, but it was the beginning of their series. So, I'm going to pick New Day because I have a feeling they're going to give it to New Day, but I want the War Raiders. But I'm picking New Day.
What about you, Matt? What you got winning?
Wild and Edward. I'm going with the black guys.
What? What? No, I want you to step by step tell me what happened in your brain before you said that sentence.
What? Like, why are you asking me a question you know the answer to? I'm going to go with my race.
Don't do that. Don't use that as justification.
I'm wild and niggery. I am going with the black folk.
I hope the kids aren't my part here in this.
They're definitely. They know their dad. They know what it is. They know the vibes.
Somehow, some way, Black IWC, Black fight, yeah. We got
Please don't repeat that at school, please.
What, wild and niggery? I got everybody saying it. They
Don't
know the
what?
vibes.
Wait a minute. What do you
They
mean
know the
everybody?
vibes. They know the vibes.
If I listen, it would be you so on brand if I have a kid and I get a call from the school saying your child was cussing in class. I'm like, yeah, that's my kid.
That's definitely my kid.
I'm gonna be the first
Definitely.
one to pull up at the school and be like, "Tell me exactly what you said, verbatim."
Like
Yo,
word for word,
yo,
word for word,
I
ball for
should tell you,
ball.
I want to low key tell y'all what my kid said to this girl, right? Like she has a friend, right? So her friend, look, don't judge me, people. I didn't teach her this because I'm not gonna lie to you, my insults are a lot better than this. It was fucked up. I gave her a conversation afterwards. I was like, you can't say stuff like this, you know, because it's wrong, right?
At least you know it was your fault.
But I can't get mad at the fact that you know she's my daughter, right? So sometimes people got to fuck around and find out. And then if you push a button, then shit, you go low, I go, she go to hell. My daughter is rotting in hell right now. That was crazy. So boom,
And no,
the little girl said, "You're a black girl" or something like that, something along the lines of that,
Oh
right? But-
no.
So me being my age, oh, she called you a nigga. That's what I'm saying. In my age, I'm like, oh, she called you that. She just don't know how to
Oh
say it,
no.
right?
She didn't do
But
that.
my daughter was on timing, and like, so I think she went to hell with this next comment. Now,
That's your daughter, right?
my daughter she's very emotional. So again, and let's take it on the chin. She's 8 years old, so she didn't learn this from me because again, my insults are a lot more clever, right? So
Yeah.
the little girl was suffering from cancer. She's in remission, right?
no,
Oh no,
no.
no. Say no. All right, you know what? Listen, next match. We're not doing this.
You don't want me
No,
to finish it? You don't want me
No,
to finish it?
we're not getting
hell no.
canceled. We're not getting
Okay,
canceled.
okay.
We're not getting canceled.
Oh no.
We're not getting canceled.
What?
No. No. We are getting canceled, brother.
Hey,
I'm just
hey,
saying.
hey,
Yeah,
please.
no. We ain't doing that.
We gonna
Not,
carry on later.
not
We gonna carry on
today.
later.
Relax.
I'm gonna tell y'all later. I'm gonna tell y'all later.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for joining the chat. Next match. Next match.
You gotta relax. You gotta stop laughing. It's not funny.
Oh boy! You see, if your daughter knows what you're about to say is messed up, yeah, you already know. You gotta relax.
She the one that said it, apparently. So
Nah,
she
but
gonna laugh.
no. But for him to repeat it is one thing. He's like, all right, Dad, you dragging it. All right, next match.
She
All
said,
right,
"I appreciate you telling my business." That's what she just told me.
that is a daughter. That is a daughter.
Yeah.
Much just like a daughter to say, Dad, don't be telling my business. All right, so we all got the New Day winning at WrestleMania. I love the
Yes,
War Raiders, but the New Day kind of need
Yep.
this one because something has got to give since the Big E situation when they turned. So I got the New Day winning as well. Next match, everybody gonna be pulled up for this. It's gonna be the squabble in Vegas. Naomi,
PWC.
proceed with caution versus
Oh my
Jade Cargill.
Lord.
You gotta proceed with caution, brother. Got to put that caution sign.
I figured it. It's just crazy.
Hey, listen. You gotta listen.
Just
If you don't respect it, don't be surprised if your ass get caught being thrown on top of a car. That's all I'm saying. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it, man.
I think Rikishi gave her that line. I did it for the Rock.
Did it for the Rock.
Proceed with caution. What?
My favorite tag
And
team.
then you gonna come to the ring with a caution sign. You better chill.
I thought that was a shout out to the previous Trinity who used to wear caution tape on her body. That's what I thought at first.
No, I think that's what it's. I mean, I think it's a blend of both. I mean, if she's bringing that back, I mean, it's a little bit of who she's becoming now. So
wait, what Trinity? What the fuck are you talking about? What?
Remember Trinity from ECW and TNA who used to wear like the caution tape around her chest?
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
and Naomi's name is Trinity, so I thought it was a double entendre she was wearing. That's what I thought it was. I don't know.
I'm not saying that she's. I'm not saying that she's dumb. I'm not saying that she's that smart. I'm just saying I don't think she thought that through.
It could be a happy accident. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be a happy accident.
and now Jimmy Butler decides to want to play basketball. Jesus Christ!
You don't talk about Jimmy, the first son of Michael. Kobe is the more skilled nephew or little brother that just
copies everything. He copies your homework. Who you got winning this match? Jade Cargill versus Naomi, because this is a big grudge match dating back to when Jade was basically pushed onto the car. And that's who do you guys got winning?
Who needs it more? Naomi.
I got Jade winning because I don't believe they're gonna let Jade go into her first Mania and not win.
That's not her
Exactly.
first Mania. That's the second.
Or so what was last year? What did she do at Mania?
She's in a 6-man tag
Oh
match.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you know what? Just off of that, you're right. Thank you. Because I forgot.
The first singles was this her first singles though?
It's her first
Oh,
single, though. I think we all agree Naomi should get this, but something tells me that Jade's gonna win this because Mania moments and you know.
Jade does not need the W. Honestly, she doesn't. She doesn't
I,
need to win.
brother, I'm right there with you.
We here.
I would
We
dap
here.
you up if I could, but the reality is there's always like because there's a strong enough possibility they're gonna want her to win her first singles. You know what? Actually, matter of fact, Matt, no, I'm gonna be there with you. I'm gonna jump in the trenches with you. I'm gonna say Naomi. You and me,
Naomi
we
is
gonna,
gonna
we gonna,
need this.
we gonna hold this. Naomi.
Yeah, one pause. That was crazy. But I
No,
think
no, 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 no,
100%.
not that. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, I'm just saying that was wild, bro. But
No, man.
in all realness, what big win has Naomi gotten so far since she's been back?
If it ain't with Bianca or Jade associated with them, it's hard for me to remember right now since she's come back to WWE.
But this is a huge moment for her to kind of stand out for for
Please
her to
do
get
the
She
right
the
needs
thing.
this
this
one. Why?
Please do the
Because
right
Jade
thing,
is a
sister.
special attraction.
Miami.
She doesn't need special attractions.
Miami.
Do not need wins. They just need a body count,
What?
meaning a feud that matters. This
No,
is Jade's first feud that mattered.
Yeah, no. I could agree to that.
I'm,
And for that reason, I can see why you don't give her the win because it could definitely make be more down the road in terms of her to get that
Think about
signature.
it. I mean, match. I'm gonna hit you up with this.
All right.
How many matches did Big Show win?
Oh, we're not trying to make
Wait. I'm not even
Jade
done.
into Big Show at Mania.
Braun Strowman.
One.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Bless his heart. Bray Wyatt.
He won. He beat
well,
Cena.
I mean, to be
He
fair,
was a special attraction. His first one, he didn't win no matches like that.
He
well,
should have though.
he
He
wasn't a
should
special
have.
attraction yet at
He
that point.
was.
No,
No,
he
no, no,
wasn't.
no, no, no. I agree with Matt. Mania 30. Like for a person that like less than a year to be on the main roster to have that much of a gravitation to the fans at that point in time against Cena, they were pulling for him.
I don't
at that
disagree that
meeting.
they were pulling for him, but he should have won that, and they know that.
By far, they fucked up with that.
They should have won. And we said that at the time. He should have won that, but
Well,
But he didn't.
your boy light skin Jesus is going off.
light skin who?
Holy and sanctified. You already know what it
His
is.
boy light skin Jesus, Steph Curry.
That boy is special. That boy is special. Anyways, like I was saying, Bray Wyatt, as much as he lost, it did not take no alert from him. We all still love that Bray Wyatt character.
I beg to differ.
Jade,
That's revisions.
well, look, Ty. Not everybody's built like you.
No, I'm talking about the people that weren't built like me. I saw people giving up on Bray as early as that, and unfortunately, the way they continued with Bray at that point, it just kept going down and down and down, and then it got back up when Randy Orton was there, and then it went back down. It went back down.
Yeah.
Then Matt Hardy came along, and we were like, I don't even know what this is, but this is kind of cool. And
I
then it
was
went.
pissed off about that one. That one made zero sense. I just didn't understand it.
Because Vince jumped the shark at that point. We all knew it.
Vince should have got bit by the dark destruction.
Oh yeah, Matt. I just gotta say this one thing before we move on. Golden State, cornflakes, Golden Tate, Lakers in 5.
You can hear shit if you want to. Look, LeBron James is the king. Steph Curry is light skinned Jesus. Come on.
No, I'm just messing with you. I think we're all in agreement. Naomi gets this win at Mania. She definitely needs something to galvanize her onto the SmackDown roster. And plus, this story's not over. This story definitely has some layers that it barely has scratched the surface. Again, I don't think this is something that ends at Mania. It continues. especially when Bianca gets involved. Moving on to another match. This is for the United States title. Jacob Fatu, the Smooth Werewolf, versus the megastar, LA Knight for the United States Championship in Mania. Who do you got walking out with the U.S. Championship?
I see Jacob Fatu winning this championship and LA Knight being moved in an exclusive trade to Raw.
My man, I respect that because yes, Jacob Fatu is going to walk his, dog walk his ass at WrestleMania.
I think it'll be more of a fight on LA Knight's part, but he will ultimately fall to.
No, don't get me wrong. They're gonna squabble, all right, for the title. But yeah, Jacob's definitely walking out.
Get ready to see a bunch of side-by-side photos of Jacob Fatu and Umaga. Just get ready.
Facts. Before, who would you trade though?
Who would I what?
Who would you trade for LA Knight to Raw for?
Honestly, I think if they were smart, they would trade as the greatest way. If we get Chad Gable winning at WrestleMania with this mask,
damn Steph,
I would have the entire American Made get traded for LA Knight and one more person.
My fault. They were just trading threes back and front. Steph Curry hit a shot before the quarter ended, and then Norman Powell just launched it and nailed it.
Nice.
Some good hoops on Sunday. Some good hoops.
But yeah, I would trade American Made in its entirety for LA Knight and one more person because you add Ivy Nile to the U.S. Championship scene. The tag division seems to be thriving on SmackDown, so putting American Made there is only going to make it more interesting. Yeah. And then obviously Chad getting to steal a victory over the top luchador after losing all those to the other ones, and then going to SmackDown to escape anything, and then running into Rey Fenix is way too perfect.
El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
El Grande Americano.
So yeah.
So I'm guessing Matt. Yo, Matt, who you got winning the U.S. title match? If you hear me.
Are you really asking me that question? It's his first WrestleMania, bro.
You're right. Yeah, I could just move this on. I could just move this along.
This is the precursor. This is the precursor to the bigger picture, which is
how you feel about that trade, though, people?
What
Matt,
trade?
how you feel about
that trade?
So after Jacob wins, trading LA Knight to Raw for American Made, all of American Made.
Yeah. I gotta sit with that. I'll answer that one a little later. I gotta sit with that a little bit.
People, how do y'all feel about that trade, though? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, what you think about that trade, man?
I'm gonna be back in like 15 minutes. I got you guys.
You got it.
All right, bet.
All right.
So moving along, we got the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and main event Jey Uso for the world title. 1, 2, 3, yeet. That's just me. You, Ty?
It's hard to bet against Jey Uso right now, considering everything would be for nothing if he were to lose here.
I would be pissed if he lost.
Yeah, it would. I wouldn't. I would feel bad for Jey, yes, because he does the way they're building this. He really should win this. But part of me enjoys Gunther as world champion enough that I'd sit here and be like, I would want it to be somebody else. But and again, this is no offense to Jey Uso. I'm just saying, I made my stance pretty clear. It's not Jey that's the problem. It's more the shit before this that built to this that was the problem. So you kind of have to give it to Jey. I would give it to Jey and have Jey have a shorter title run than people expect. But that's just me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's Jey Uso's moment. Hopefully they do follow through with it. We all know he's not gonna have a long title run, but for the fact that he's actually getting the opportunity to get it is huge in itself. So I'm hoping he does definitely get that win.
I just realized we're gonna be getting Jacob and Jimmy for the US Championship in the near future if Jacob wins.
I'm not mad at it, but a bigger match I would have wanted is if you were able to trade Bronson Reed on the SmackDown. No, I'm joking. Too many big man matches. What's good, Dre? What's good? Also, check us out this week. We're going to be talking to playoffs on Run the Break. We will be back this week. We're talking to playoffs predictions, and all for the NBA playoffs coming up this week. We'll be discussing that. We'll be shooting tonight. Dre's probably going to, air it, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday. But yes, shout out to the brother, wise brother, A.R. Jones of Prolific, getting all them titles, tag team championships, Pro Wrestling R World Champion, or, in terms of, Isaiah Wolf and Magic Ruthless Lala. Shout out to the wise brother, A.R. Jones, and my tag partner for the Run the Break podcast, where you will be hearing exclusively basketball talk this week. Hopefully we get that big moment at WrestleMania. I know Pat McAfee's gonna go crazy when when everyone's in the crowd just doing the taunt and stuff like that.
He might need to be censored.
Cole's been almost letting it fly last couple of weeks on Raw in terms of things. So, I wouldn't put it past either one of them to let it slip. Hell, Pat McAfee was like, holy shit, when there's like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to say that. But he ended up doing it anyway, so.
I think it'd be funny if during the celebration, you just show everybody in the crowd doing the chant, and then you see Pat, because Pat's going to be standing on a table, most likely. He's going to be standing on the table, right?
The indestructible table?
Show his whole body being censored. Censor his entire body.
So his whole body is the whole black silhouette.
It's just fuzzy. His part of the video is just fuzzy. Everyone's like, "What is Pat doing?" And it's like, "Yes."
Oh my god! Yo! Shout out to Sports for You, man. They just hit up their sports show as well. They were talking, they're basically talking about the playoffs, the end of the college basketball season, the beginning of the NFL draft. And, of course, they talk about the basketball season coming up. So, shout out to Sports for You. John Watson, of course, they talk wrestling as well. They had some stuff to say about Charlotte, and a mutual person of ours didn't quite like those comments, but it's wrestling. It's always good debates.
Yeah, get over it, Eric.
If Eric would get his ass up and come on the show. No, I'm joking. Now he works too hard, man. He's probably knocked out or locked in watching the Yankee game, forgetting the fact that we're on live. Yeah, it's all love to Mimi Shells of Black Wrestling. And yes, Yeet, main event Yeet will definitely take place when Jey Uso wins the title. And one more title match for WrestleMania Saturday will be this match right here. Past versus present, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte, the WWE Women's Championship. People say Teresa's saying Charlotte needs this win following her return back, but over the last couple of weeks, people have been saying Tiffany might need it more because listen, to legitimize yourself as a champion and someone they trust moving up, you gotta get that win and prove yourself amongst the best. And Charlotte is the best. And this feud has picked up the last couple of weeks. So who do you got picking up this win at WrestleMania?
So I'll preface by saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte will be the reason Tiffany loses that championship. But Tiffany will not lose at WrestleMania.
Oh, if I'm thinking what you're thinking.
I think at some point in the future, Charlotte's going to cost Tiffany that title because she can't stand the fact that she lost to Tiffany at Mania, but I don't think that Tiffany's going to lose at Mania. I think Tiffany's going to get the win. Charlotte is going to have a midlife crisis level of anger, regret, and sadness, and she's going to hunt Tiffany down for the next few months.
If I think what you're thinking, I like that move.
I won't say anything else.
I like that move. The only person that won't like this move is probably knocked the fuck out right now in Carolina.
Well, there'll be
there'll be others. I got Tiffany winning. I got Tiffany winning off the strength of the fact that I think she needs it. She needs this one. I mean, Charlotte's won the championship multitude of times. I don't think she necessarily needs a WrestleMania win at this point. But to further her coming back from post-surgery and figuring out who Charlotte's going to be, moving forward, as she's continuing to stay healthy, I don't think she needs to win. But I do think this loss will definitely help develop more of her character. And at least that's me. So
I think did Charlotte compete at Mania last year? I can't remember.
No, she was injured during that time.
So I think that for her to lose to Rhea 2 years ago, not compete last year, and then lose to Tiffany this year would build a strong case for her to win next year, assuming all the stars align. So I would keep the train of bad momentum going for Charlotte at Mania, because she kind of needs that story to kind of balance out a lot of what she's been given the past decade or so, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, because that would be her motivation. That would be her why to win those matches.
Yep.
Honestly, so.
Yep.
Not bad. So I guess we got Tiffy. I guess it's Tiffy time. As she'll pick up the victory for night one, the last title match for night one.
I just realized somebody's gonna make a Twitter edit of Tiffany Stratton to Sticky by Tyler the Creator, but every time they say the word sticky, they're gonna take the sticky part out and they're gonna put Tiffy in there instead. You did this. Just know that you're the reason this happened, Randy.
Not me. Listen. It ain't me. It won't be me doing it. It probably be like someone like V on Twitter. It might be Big Hero Chris. It might be Gresh. It might be. You never know. You never know who the suspects might be in terms of who might create that video. But you give me far too much credit. All right, main event time for night one. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins and CM Punk in a triple threat match. As I call this match, the custody of Paul Heyman match. This will close night one. CM Punk main eventing his first WrestleMania. Seth Rollins and Roman having history dating back to June 2nd, 2014, when he hit him with the chair, thus ending the Shield the first time around, and of course, making the tribal chief into who he is today. So, Ty, why is it that Seth Rollins is winning?
Because Seth Rollins is undefeated at WrestleMania triple threats, and I think they should keep it that way.
Those are the facts. Well, I think he's 3-0 in triple threat matches, right? It's 30, 31,
31, 34, and this one.
And Roman going 0-2 to Seth at Mania?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, this is like, I'm not going to say there's no better scenario, because somebody could think of something else. Don't get me wrong. We all have creative minds. But for me, it's like Roman and Punk. Seth has felt like the little brother to both of these guys for so long, in so many different scenarios and feuds in different years in WWE, that at this point, if Seth were to get the one up on both of them and potentially walk out with Paul Heyman, because that's still a possibility as well, it's just the ultimate moment for this guy. And for him to do it 10 years to WrestleMania 31, where he first did it to Roman and okey doked him. I'm just saying, it's right there on the table. The play is right there. The lob is right there. Now convert.
That would be probably the easiest. That would be the easiest layup Triple H could ever have.
And you never really hear me advocating for Seth Rollins things. Like, no offense to Seth, but I'm not
No, you do not.
You know, I'm not the biggest Seth guy in terms of like how he's been used. So,
but you've also been fair on Seth over the years in terms of how you view his booking and how he is during his career. So you have been fair on that. So
that man took my last chance for Shinsuke to get some world title gold. All right. If I'm saying he should win, then I'm being fair.
Hey, listen, I'd hold a grudge too, because when I bring up Fergal, you know where my loyalties lie. What's good, Gene? Yeah, man. Listen. I got after the last couple of weeks, I've had Seth winning because I'm like, Roman doesn't need this win at this point. It's obvious that him and Punk are going to be feuding until SummerSlam. The one person that's going to get more mileage out of this is going to be Seth, because, like you said, he's been the forgotten guy. And it's almost like,
And Seth has lost the past couple Manias, I'm pretty sure. No, he beat Logan Paul. But
he didn't beat Logan Paul, but it's just like, he helped build the world title, then you lose it last year. knowing that you be in championship contention. Low key, he wanted that Cody fade, because it's like, yo, bro, like you swept me. I kind of want my run back. I want my round 2. Then Roman's like, nah, bro, little brother, stand aside. Helps him lose his. Helps Cody defeat Roman. That's check 1. Ruin CM Punk's moment. Check 2. And now he has an opportunity to get 2 of his biggest ops in one match. Like you said, it's there. It's an easy layup. Just don't be Brandon Knight and fumble the layup when you're in transition. So,
good Lord,
this is what I'm saying. Like,
you ain't gotta bring up Brandon Knight like that. That ain't right, man.
Do not read the names on the screen, folks. Don't read those names. You don't need to see. You don't need to see none of that.
But that about does it for night 1. We got a Grande Americano winning against Rey Mysterio. We got the New Day being the War Raiders for the tag team championships, becoming once again tag team champions. We got Naomi defeating Jade Cargill in their grudge match. Continuing their story, we got the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight for the United States Championship. We got main event Jey Uso winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yeet. And we got Tiffy Time retaining her championship against Queen Charlotte. Kind of, putting a chink in the Queen's armor, if you will. And of course, we got Seth going 3-0 in triple threat matches at WrestleMania. And pulling a hat trick, if you will, if all things align in play that might happen on Sunday. Let's go to night 2 WrestleMania, the final night of a 2-night extravaganza. We're going to begin with Penta versus Finn Balor, Braun Breaker, and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm interested to think, what is your thoughts about this match, Ty? Who do you got winning this one?
Dominic wins by accident.
Damn, he beat me to the goddamn punch. Because
I don't know how you get to that point, but similar to how Eddie Guerrero pinned China for the Intercontinental Championship, or was it the European title? I forget.
I think it was a European title that he won first.
But Eddie reference aside, I think Dominic is going to. The whole story Dominic has is he's trying to make it up to Finn, and for him to accidentally win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, it just screams WWE moment, let alone WrestleMania moment, and I feel like that is the likely scenario. I'm more curious as to where Braun goes from there, because I can see Penta and Finn and Dominic being on this belt for a while. Braun, I feel like this might be his moment where he goes, okay, hey, guess what? Hey, Jay, remember when you took my Intercontinental title?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it's going. Because as good as main event Yeet is going to be as world champion, just know that it's not going to last long. Yeah, I got Dom too. As much as I want Finn to win the Intercontinental Championship, I do think this sets up something for them that's deeper down the road where Finn might eventually get it. But to see Dom win the IC title would be a huge decision. And the fact that they got faith in the dude, man, he gets a lot of reactions. But low-key, he's starting to come into his own in terms of the ring as well, because a lot of us were kind of not worried, but we're hoping the fact that it would catch up to him. It's starting to catch up to him. He's starting to, be more comfortable in terms of his ring abilities. And even then, when he was coming up, those some years ago, he's a natural with it. Second generation, superstars, from prestigious companies, prestigious families, they always seem to pick it up faster because you've seen it in real time with your family members. Look no further than the Samoan dynasty, which which you see, Jey Uso and Roman and Jacob Fatu definitely having high profile matches at WrestleMania. Look at them in terms of where they came from and their families. From the Tonga Kid, Rikishi, Alpha and Sika, like this, they're the next of their next generation seem to pick it up very, very well, and it'll be a dope moment to see Dom win. They've been very high on him, and as you can see by watching Raw as of late, seems like Michael Cole's pulling for my guy. He's been pulling for Dom a little bit. He's kind of turned the corner because before then, every time he seen Dom, he turned into JR, like turned to Jim Ross every time. Like when Jim Ross and Triple H had that beef, every time Triple H does something heinous or he's on TV, don't want to see nothing of him. It seems that Michael Cole's starting to turn the corner on Dominic. So yeah, Dominic coming out on top with the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's definitely going to be the wave at night 2 of WrestleMania. Next match up for bids is the Women's Tag Team Championship match featuring Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
To me, this is really stupid. I more than anything, if I give my opinions on the state of this title and the division that barely exists, I will be here for another hour. But for the terms of this, I hope that Liv and Raquel win. Lord knows that Liv Morgan spent a majority of last year carrying Raw with the championship. Not carrying Raw, but carrying the championship and being a centerpiece of Raw stories. Off of that alone, winning at Mania would be the cherry on top. Raquel coming back from what she's come back from, and also having been one of those people before as champion, it would be nice to see her get it. Lyra and Bayley should not be in this position, in my opinion. It's not as though you can't start their story this way. I think the only reason why I roll my eyes is because you don't need them to be a team to start their dissension or to push a certain angle. It doesn't have to be this way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they had to fight for the championship at Mania immediately, but, I feel bad that this is how it has to go down, but I'm going to go with Judgment Day or whatever version, Street Trash or what Judgment Day White. I don't know anymore. Hollywood? Judgment Day Hollywood. I don't
Judgment Day Blanco. Judgment Day Hollywood. That's crazy. This match was put together, and I'm just like, ugh.
It feels like it should. If it were a different team, I would be against. Like, if it were Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro or Katana,
I'd be more like I give it to them.
Please give them the moment, because we need the championships to be on a real team, not a team that we can see splitting up somewhere down the line. We need to be on a team that's gonna, like, we need more FTRs and like people who are really going to be in this division for the long term. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
For the revival. Next match, AJ Styles versus that other guy. Logan. I'm joking.
Is this what y'all wanted? Is this what you guys wanted? Because this isn't what I wanted.
Instead, what I wanted instead, I would have rather had the matches taking place on Raw happen, and Logan Paul not participate at all. But because Logan Paul's so damn good in the ring.
No, he's one of the biggest stars in the entire company worldwide, and he's basically guaranteed a Mania match every year against someone who's going to make him look really good, and he can make them look good. Like, I get it. I get why this is happening. What annoys me is that I don't want it to be AJ. Like, I've said it before. I wanted AJ versus Gunther. I wanted AJ to get that definitive Mania victory that really makes people go, okay, that's AJ's real WrestleMania moment. And what I'm getting is what AJ's doing, what Seth did a couple years ago. And I'm just like, all right, it's gonna be entertaining.
Some would tell you that he got it already against Shinsuke, but we don't count that.
It's gonna be entertaining, considering the styles in play, no pun intended. They have a history because when they booked Logan originally, they said he was training under AJ, and they've been ramping up recently. So I get it. My only problem with this is that it's, God, why make, considering what I could have had. It's not bad, but considering what I could have had, dude.
And this is why I wrote in the recent Sports Hit List article the fact that Triple H might have left a lot on the table for this Mania.
I mean, there are a number of Manias we can make arguments for that. The one that comes to my mind immediately is Mania 22. But look,
there were some life situations that took place, which is why a lot of those things didn't take place. But
I don't see why they still couldn't have had Taker and Kurt Angle at Mania. Considering
that match should have happened. I was talking more so in the lines of Eddie and HB Shizzle.
Well, of course. I mean, we got to be reasonable here, but still, all I will say is this: this match will be entertaining. I think Logan's going to win because there's no real reason why Logan should be like I believe he lost at Mania last year.
Yes.
He was in the triple threat with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Who won? No, did he lose?
No. He was United States champion at the time, right? No, he won.
Yeah, he retained the U.S. championship there. He lost a set the previous Mania. He won with Miz at the previous Mania. Yeah. So something tells me they're not going to well, I mean, he could afford to lose. I would like to see AJ win. But considering where AJ is at in the company, he doesn't need a victory at Mania necessarily.
3-1 at WrestleMania is crazy.
So I'm going to go with Logan Paul to win this. I don't like that that's the situation, but I don't see any other scenario really here.
Yeah.
At least not right now.
You already know how this goes. All right. So, you say Logan, right?
Yep, Logan. Not my Logan.
AJ is going to be the vet.
Hopefully they show out so much that the loss doesn't hurt as much.
No, it won't, because it's AJ. Like, at this point, Uncle Alan, man, his legacy is already intact. It hurts him none if he takes an L. So yeah, Logan Paul gets this match. Next match up for bids is a Sin City Street Fight featuring Drew McIntyre, versus Damian Priest. Who do you got with this match?
I think this match has a potential to be a show stealer. Not to say that AJ and Logan can't, because that definitely has a potential too. But I think this one, people have such low expectations in general. This one could be this could be one of them. I would like to see Drew win this because this is Drew getting his revenge. And Drew, I think at this point, Drew deserves a victory that shouldn't be taken away a few minutes later. Like, we had the situation with Mania last year. We had the Money in the Bank situation, right? Like, I think that after losing to Punk, losing at Mania, and losing the Money in the Bank the way that he did, he needs a victory that lasts. You know what I'm saying? Not just a victory that we're like, oh, that happened, and then we remember the shenanigans after. Like, let's give him a victory that lasts.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, last year, Damian Priest already got hit one of his biggest wins of his career by pinning Drew for the title. It's only right the fact that, they square things at a match apiece or a Mania piece, I guess. And the rubber match is going to take place, somewhere down the line. And maybe that match might have implications for a world title down the road, depending on who's champion.
That's a crazy stat. There are not many people who can say they've run their series back at multiple Manias. Like, you think of Rock Austin, you think of Charlotte, Rhea now in modern terms. You think of, like, what do you call it? Taker Trips, Cody and Roman. You think of Shawn and Taker. But now you can add Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre to that list because you're right. This is technically their second match at Mania. So, yeah, interesting.
Yes, sir. I got Drew winning too. I mean, Drew. It's funny how Drew's doing his best work, and the fact that he doesn't need the title to show for it.
Well, that's how it should feel.
And that's like you said, like that's how it should feel. Like people like Drew, people like AJ, hell, Roman, Seth, and Punk. The title is only supposed to basically add to what you already bring to the table. Like, you're not, and I think the fact that, these guys are probably going to have a good show stealer. And Damian Priest, he's been upping his game over the last couple years. So it's gonna be a nice match to watch. Different styles. There's gonna be a brawl. It's gonna be it's gonna be Smash Mouth. You're gonna get a little bit of everything in that match. And
I swear, for the sake of Matt, if you go for that front flip, do not bounce off that middle rope, please.
No. We do not need that at WrestleMania.
Please.
We don't need that.
I will never hear the end of it if something close to that happens again.
If it happens at Mania, yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Matt will do, honestly. All right, so we got Drew winning this match. Next match up for bids is the women's world title match, the triple threat match. Io versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world championship. Io Sky is looking at like the afterthought in what seems to be a Rhea versus Bianca situation, but champion is Io Sky, and she seems to be forgotten. And it's going to be a dope match as well. So who you got winning this one?
So shout out to Shay. Shay said on Twitter that she wants Io to win, but feels like Rhea's going to win. And I told her that if Rhea wins, I'm going to find and compromise Elmo. She asked why, and it's because Elmo's happiness sometimes annoys me when I'm having bad days because you have a fixed smile on your face, and I wish I had that. It is jealousy. Yes, I'm jealous. I am jealous of a Muppet. It is true. Elmo got his own house, doesn't have to pay rent in New York with a companion. That little
in Harlem, bro. In Harlem,
Elmo got his own world. Elmo got his own friends in his own house, and his biggest rival is a rock. All right, I want that life. I want all of that. I don't want to have to pay for Muppet food. Yeah, you damn right. I'm jealous of Elmo. But let me tell you something right now. Rhea better not win, or I'm going to have to take a trip to Harlem and find Elmo, and I'm going to have to make that house my house. All right. So that being said, now on some serious stuff though. On some serious stuff, all love the Elmo. I want Io to win, similar to Seth. Being treated as the lesser of the three should spark the opportunity to make the biggest impression and the biggest statement. And I think that Io should win. Ironically, similar to Seth, Io is also 1-0 in triple threat matches at Mania. So it would against Bianca
2-0 against Rhea Ripley.
And also has
this all ties up. Shit.
Yeah, also has the victory over Bianca, who plays her Roman in this situation, ironically. So that being said, I would like to see Io win and retain the title. She just got it, and there's a bigger story brewing between Bianca and Rhea that can play out later in the year, going into next year, depending on when they want to pull the trigger on that. So in reality, even if they want to play it as Io squeaks by with the championship, so be it. I think Io winning at Mania makes sense. Last year, she walked in as the champion and lost. For her to walk in as the champion and lose again would feel kind of wrong in this scenario. I get that Bianca and Rhea are the biggest stars, but you need to make other stars too. It can't just rely on the same people every time. So, considering Io is one of your best options, especially on Raw, considering Bianca, I believe, is still a SmackDown star, assuming she doesn't win on Sunday. Yep. Let Io be one of your pillars. She needs to be a true pillar, not just a spiritual one.
Posted on our page this afternoon that I purposely want Io to win. I have Io winning, but the reason why I want her to win is because I already have an opponent for her in mind. Everybody's saying, well, Becky Lynch might come back and no. I want Shayna Baszler to be the first opponent for Io Sky at Backlash when she retains at WrestleMania. Why? Because if you guys were around back then when they were going at it in NXT,
Shayna is half the reason Io turned heel in the first place.
All I'm saying is,
I'm not gonna lie.
You have an opportunity on the main roster to bring it back, and Shayna's been itching for an opportunity to showcase this. Like you gave us a taste of it when Shayna basically eradicated everybody in the 2020, Elimination Chamber, only for her to basically lose at Becky at WrestleMania and not sniff that opportunity
And
again.
you need to again use your other talent as well. I think that in the case of Shayna as well, I do want to. I guess since she's up and this is relevant, I know there was a clip on SmackDown of her and Bailey grappling in their tag match that led to Bailey and Lyra, I believe, going after the tag titles at Mania.
Yeah.
Shayna is genuinely a great asset to have, not just because of her being a badass character, but also being such a great wrestler in all areas. She's the type of person that can help recover a matchup when it's going down because of her footwork, because of her skill, and being able to keep somebody in control and keep things under control. If you give Shayna the opportunity to be that heel again and be the number two, like maybe the number one heel on Raw, I think it'll pay dividends if you do it correctly. Does she have to cut promos every week? No, but she'll be fine if she does. Does she have to be on the show every week in a in-ring capacity? No, you can space things out. But having her do what she does, especially since she can still do it at such a high level, and best of luck to her WrestleMania weekend because she will be competing at Bloodsport. I'm very much behind that. I would like to see that. And on top of that, you also have the rest of damage control for Io to deal with because it's only a matter of time before that splits off because Kyrie is on the rise of coming back. Asuka eventually has to come back, and Dakota is going to be right there. So let's get some action going there.
Like Io has enough. Like you already got enough right there to do, to give Io exactly what she needs to have a pretty good reign away from the Rhea and Bianca arc. Like she can definitely like cement herself as a champion by facing these competitors and give you guys a different look because whatever Liv and Raquel are doing right now, I guess is good for them right now. But Io, you need to see what you got on your roster that can better develop you with your champion. But yeah, man, I mean we got Io Sky winning, defeating Rhea and Bianca. And for me, listen, Bianca, you ain't fooling nobody. We already know what's up. Jay's coming for you. We just wait until what happens. We just wait for the other shoe to drop. That's just me. Like I know that story is far from over. And you've been wearing a lot of black lately. Listen.
I think I just realized who I would also add in that LA Knight trade. I know we're digressing a bit. What's their name? God, it's escaping me right now. Yes, boy.
Oh, Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly. If Pretty Deadly and LA Knight go over for all of American Made,
I'd make that trade.
I'm actually okay with that trade
because they're starting to get over naturally too. Like they're starting to get like the fans starting to get behind them as like faces or whatnot.
I think that Pretty Deadly being one of the main people to help revitalize Raw's tag division or give it as much of a surge as SmackDown's currently has would be cool. So
I mean, they have provided a good spark in making tag team wrestling on SmackDown matter because Raw desperately needs it at this point. Before we get to our last match, there's another match that's supposed to be scheduled, but we don't know who's his opponent. So it'll be Randy Orton versus who? Who does Randy Orton face?
Like,
does he face Vacant? I mean, Vacant is undefeated at WrestleMania, and he's still like the longest reigning WWE champion. All titles really. Vacant. Will Vacant make an appearance at WrestleMania and face off against Randy Orton?
I think Vacant is going to be off of the card this year.
He's like, listen, I'm retired.
They tease Solo. People still think Aldis. I don't know. I think
I would love Nick Aldis.
I would like Nick Aldis too. But there's also a part of me that can see if Randy Orton is to be booked for Mania proper. I think that this would be the opportunity they could use it as an opportunity to debut somebody new.
Or re-debut somebody.
Who would you re-debut?
Oh,
See, I'm thinking, you know what would be a crazy spot?
Yeah.
If they had Randy Orton, like let's say Nick Aldis was like, you know what? I don't appreciate how you attacked me. It's not my fault that your match got taken away, but you know what? I'm going to give you something, Orton. I'm going to give you, like, he's going to do this at the show, at Mania, when Orton comes out and he's scheduled for this match. Or he says, you will compete at WrestleMania, Orton, but I will pick your opponent the night of WrestleMania, or it'll be revealed the night of WrestleMania. I'm not going to lie to you.
I got something for
If
that.
there's a lot of different names you could put. We could spend a minute saying them. I'm going to throw Obafemi in this.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to be honest with you.
The night after stand and deliver, you put the ruler in the match against the Viper?
If Obafemi were to appear here,
that crowd would go crazy.
The crowd, because it's a hardcore crowd. It should be, since it's a Mania. It's enough people will know who he is. A lot of people who don't know is gonna be like, who the fuck? And then he has the NXT Championship, which would be the biggest advert for NXT you could have at that point. Orton,
I mean, at this point, you might have just lost it.
Orton and Oba, fair enough, but Oba and Orton in the ring, that stare down, the fact that Randy and Oba are pretty similar in size, but Oba is humongous, so they're gonna sit there and be like, "Yo, what is that? Who is that? Why is that?" I think it would be interesting to do that.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I have like an out of a left field suggestion, mostly because of the fact that because it made me think to myself, I'm like, yo, like, it would be dope if they actually thought of doing this. I know they won't, but what if, since TNA got that relationship, right? What if somebody got their get back that they never got a chance to get back against Randy Orton, and all of a sudden you see boy Mustafa Ali, newly like jacked Mustafa Ali come to WrestleMania and really put the TNA WWE partnership, fully on the map by having that match and
them running it back
having that
and
one off.
doing that RKO counter would be crazy at Mania. If he could steal one on Orton, that would be insane.
Like I would like that would be the craziest left field thing, and then have him come back and just like it's like what wait, what's he doing here? I thought he was in TNA, and then you see him come out.
Another one, since you brought up TNA, all this
not Muth.
No, I would say Joe Hendry, and I'd say the reason why I'd pick Joe.
The crowd would go bonkers.
Exactly. Like, Joe Hendry is enough of a meme that there are some people who know who he is in WWE without watching TNA, especially since he's appeared in a couple different things and the Rumble. So imagine if you have him as TNA champion. The TNA champion appearing at WrestleMania is a crazy thing for all of us to think of. But imagine, because all this has the connections to TNA. Remember, he used to be Dixie Carter's main person. He was just in TNA before he went to WWE. He had that little run. Maybe he made a call to management over in TNA and said, hey, I need to borrow this guy. And you have Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, not for the TNA championship. But if you have them face off at Mania and have Joe Hendry get over on that crowd, imagine what that could do for the partnership, because so far it's been very much NXT, but to have the biggest blip of the partnership happen at WrestleMania and the advert it could do for TNA wrestling to do that and how it could lead into Slammiversary for them in a few months. I'm just saying that's an opportunity there too.
That would do numbers. that would definitely do numbers. I like that. Cause it's like, yo, like that would be the biggest FU from Trips to the fans. Like, oh no, Trips, this, then the third. Like this, that would be a very left field creative decision to make. But it probably may not happen. Who knows? Who knows if Orton even still has a match? But I just put that out there because Orton was scheduled to face KO at WrestleMania, but of course KO has got surgery on his neck, and we don't know the timetable of his return if he does return. But that would have been a good idea or match to discuss. And final match we get a chance to talk about on this WrestleMania prediction show is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. We got the Codelander versus Peacemaker for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, because Ty likes to remind everyone, which is still true, it's still 2 championships. So
I don't know if they've quietly retired it since then, but every time I check on Wikipedia, it's still considered 2. I know not everything in Wikipedia is true, but they have not said the belts are retired yet. So yeah, even though they've shown it as a WWE title, I mean, like, look, if that's the case, can we get the undisputed part off of it? It's not the only world title here. There's a lot there. I want to see.
No. It is a lot. You think after the old man is gone, Trips would actually, be like, all right, let's just kind of condense this a little bit. But here we are. But yeah, who you got winning this main event, man? Who you got closing out night 2?
I want Cena to win. I'll be honest with you. I've never really.
I'm there with you.
I've never had to say that much. I know there's been a lot of different introspective looks on Cena's career. I know some people have softened up to Cena because he's at the tail end of his career. And I know that some people still hold hatred for what Cena did to them in their youth. In this scenario, I think that Cody losing is fine. I think that Cody has held the belt from Mania to Mania. He's been involved in WrestleMania storylines going on 3 Manias straight now.
Yeah.
Cody is at a point where he's already proven he can be that champion that WWE wants. And anytime he holds the belt afterwards, we already know what he's about to do. He's going to be the first in media. He's going to be this and that. And there's so many different layers to their history. Cody being Cena's caddy for a while, just driving him all around. The fact that, Cena and Cody, Cody's always looked at Cena as his inspiration of what kind of champion and representative he'd want to be for a company. And obviously Cena having his breakthrough with finally getting away from Stockholm syndrome from the fans and all of that. So I would like to see. I don't think it's necessary for Cena to win, but I do think Cena winning would make a more compelling outcome for WrestleMania. Just him being champion 17, him being the champion that he hated when Rock was the champion and took the belt all over and was barely on the show. Him being the 17-time champion and being this selfish guy, I can see something pretty compelling come out of that. And assuming that Cena is very scarce with his dates, it could also put more emphasis on the world championship, because let's be honest, to have a heartbreak on night 2 and a breakthrough on night 1 is a tale of 2 tapes right there. It should even out, even though one belt does feel more important than the other. But at least in terms of kayfabe, let's just say it evens out here. So,
I mean, I got Cena winning probably more so for the same reasons you do, in addition to the fact that you don't turn Cena heel without the intention of giving him 17 with a plan. I know that his time is limited, in the WWE, because he's gonna retire at the end of the year. So you got to maximize, you got to squeeze the orange as much as you can out of it. So with Cena, is like you got to exhaust it, see where it goes, and have as much fun as you can while you still have it.
Yep.
Cody doesn't, again, I'm using another Eric euphemism, like Cody wins from losing. He still, just by having that moment and that match in itself for the title, it's already a passing of the torch from Cena to Cody.
And chances are he'd lose in a dirty way. I can't imagine Cena clean.
Oh no, he ain't winning clean. Oh no, he's not winning clean.
It might be competitive it'll be competitive for a portion of it, but I think the idea of it being competitive and then Cena having to go low to win is compelling in its own right. So
I have suspected since the turn that the way Cody loses this championship would be somewhere between Mania 17 and Mania 15 related, because even the way, the whole arc of him, Rock coming out and asking, Cody to basically be his champion and stuff like that, infusing parts of the corporation. And, like maybe I'm looking too much into it, but from what I'm seeing, like Cody's not going to walk out of that walk out of Vegas like just by doing the crossroads and celebrating with the crowd saying I overcame Cena. Like I just don't think that kind of finish is happening because it's like you don't like Rock doesn't come on this show and tease and does all this crazy shit and it doesn't lead to nothing just for Cody to win. Like it has to lead to something. So in addition to that, years ago I was against it for Cena winning 17 because like it would just be just a notch where it just went nowhere. This run would actually mean something if he does win because for one, you're on your way out. Two, you are a different character as a champion. And fans might want to see, what you do with it, And I know like I'm not sure if he's in post-production from the movie that he just, he's filming as well as Peacemaker, but he's a person that can be suddenly used and, you can use the heavyweight championship, I won't say put more pressure on it, but make it more of a focal point in terms of, a fighting champion. So, it is one of those things. And at 5:33 p.m., we get a text in our group chat. All right, E is just getting up. After he told me in the chat yesterday, I'm taking the day off. I did my overtime. I'm taking the day off. I'm gonna come and be part of the show today. This motherfucker just says, "I'm just getting up now."
Yeah, he took a day off on the day of rest. So
hey, but I will give him grace because as someone who pulled two, has been working full overtime shifts Monday through Friday for the last 2 weeks. I get it. Like sometimes you just need that rest and recuperation. We don't bounce back like we do when we were like 20, 25. You're in our 30s, guys. You don't look it because you drink water, but we are definitely not spring chicken anymore. But but for that reason, I got Cena winning 17. It's gonna be fun no matter what, because obviously to see Cena in a different light, because you don't know what the finished product of what Cena is gonna bring to Mania is going to be. All we've been getting is Cena throwing everything back to the audience, gaslighting them a little bit, even though they deserve it, which is true. And then, still coming out to the same music, same this and the third. He says, no, you don't get that. So I want to see what the final piece of that going into WrestleMania and how that's going to be showcased. But I just see him coming out with 17. And I see somehow much how 29 ended. I see Rock holding Cena's hand, raising Cena's hand with the championship, and then saying, "There's my champion." Like somehow, I just envision that somehow, some way. And Cody fans can go home crying. No, I'm joking with you, but
you really brought back the Cody crybabies, huh? The Rock is your favorite wrestler. We should have seen
it. But yeah, I mean that pretty much is it, man. I mean, I got you got Cena winning, I got Cena winning. Yeah, that pretty much does it in terms of WrestleMania matches. In terms of our predictions, we got obviously Cena, winning the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. We got Io Sky retaining the Women's World Championship. We got Drew McIntyre beating Damian Priest in the Sin City Street Fight. We got Logan Paul going over on AJ. We got the defending champs retaining because I'm not sure that match is just a clusterfuck. As much as I want Finn to win this one, it's going to Dom. And we don't know who Randy Orton faces. It just might be Nick Aldis. Who knows? But no matter what, that's going to be a great event for WrestleMania. That does it about for our WrestleMania predictions. Ty, going into the show, how do you generally feel? How do you generally feel going into the show?
The build to this Mania, generally speaking, has been underwhelming. Yeah. One of the biggest surges of it was Cena's heel turn, but even in that regard, it still doesn't feel that appealing to me, just because it didn't ramp up the way that I was expecting. Maybe that's high expectations of me, but also I feel like they haven't juiced the orange, as you said. I think generally speaking, a lot of people, even people within the company, feel that way. Especially when you compare it to the past couple of Manias we've had, it doesn't feel as epic as Mania normally feels in general, or even based off the recent spike standards we've had the past couple years. And not every Mania is going to feel that way, granted. The last time we could really remember a situation like this where they changed our minds after a terrible build was Mania 31. We call those kind of Manias the you
Happy
gotta,
accidents.
not even the happy accidents, the you gotta make up for it Mania. Because if the build is bad but the event is good, people will be more forgiving. So the hope is that they all perform their hearts out as you imagine they would, as imagine they will. But yeah, it's been underwhelming. This Mania could make up for it all in one package. Who knows? But all I do know is this: if your pitch is bad, some people are not willing to watch the product and or to invest in the product. And the only thing that keeps WWE in this is that they've earned enough faith in the fans to where like ain't nobody else gonna do nothing on that Saturday and Sunday night. And people want to hope that it'll be good. So I hope they don't rely on this any longer the next few years. I hope that they put more effort into making things move. And I think part of the reason why this Mania feels weird is because they delayed a lot of people's pushes by a year or two, and they're trying to make up for certain things, and they're still putting some people on the back burner. They need to get their shit together. I think so.
Yeah. Overall, like, yeah, I agree. I agree with your sentiments. I feel the fact that the way they built this one, it's underwhelming. But if it ends up like how Mania 31 ended up being, which was a very underrated Mania in terms of like actual events, but yeah, build, I'm willing to live with it. You know, like I wrote about it in a recent article for Sports Hit List. I just felt like Trips left a lot on the table in terms of what he could possibly do. And that's not just in terms of like, you know, the depth of the roster. I just felt in terms of the depth of the storylines and the way to build it. I felt that he left a lot on the table in terms of how he should have, you know, ramped it up. You know, maybe, you know, again, Saturday and Sunday next week, we'll get to see more of it. And you know, it's gonna be interesting. You know, this is WrestleMania season. It's you know, basically what is almost like now. It's playoff season. It's final season for them, but it's playoff season. You know, you work your butt off, you know, the all year round just to get to this point. And when WrestleMania comes around, this is your moment to prove why you were chosen to be on that card. That's what WrestleMania is all about.